Hello everyone, my name is Chelsea. My topic for my puzzle piece is addiction stigma, particularly the barriers that it creates for wellness. So I'm going to start off by telling you why I chose the topic. So like many, I'm personally affected by addiction. It runs in my family, and I see how the stigma affects the actual individual and their willingness to go and seek treatment and get help. I've actually personally been told that there's a fear of like embarrassment in doing these things because of the stigma associated. So I took it upon myself to do a little bit more research to see what I can do in my future practice to try and alleviate or stop the stigma so that people that live with the addictions aren't afraid to get the help that they need. So when I did my paper, I broke it down into two different views. So I looked at how the general population stigmatizes addiction and how the healthcare setting stigmatizes addiction. And it's sad to say, but most of the stigma originates in the healthcare setting. Um, of course, when people go and seek these treatments and help, most of the time it is in a healthcare setting. You get the help from the nurses and the counselors and the social workers. So it's really important that we try and stop the stigma where it starts. So when the general public sees healthcare providers that work so closely with these people and that are supposed to be trusted in this situation, when they see that these individuals are stigmatizing these people, they follow suit and they kind of do the same thing. So I'll give you a couple of examples of what I found. So in the healthcare setting, it is known that nurses, they don't necessarily talk badly about the patients to their faces, but in in between professions, if a doctor and a nurse were talking about a patient living with addiction, they tend to talk in hurtful language, calling them addicts and drug users and things that stigmatize the individuals. So it's more so done behind the backs of the patients, but obviously was overheard by some individuals. So it is found that they label a lot, so calling them addicts and associating the individuals living with addiction with crime, which is also very sad. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my puzzle piece. So this is my puzzle piece. So I'll just explain it. So the symbol there is two hands reaching for each other. So one is the hand of the individual living with chronic addiction, and the other one is the hand of the nurse. So it's the patient reaching for the hand of the nurse to ask for help to stop the stigma. I feel like this really needs light on the situation, so that's why I only put this symbol. The reason why I left it blank of color is because that I feel as if it is a great way of showing what the stigma makes the people living with addiction feel like. So it symbolizes loneliness and helplessness, the fear and the embarrassment that they feel, the darkness that the stigma puts upon them. It also signifies the feelings of being ignored, judged, rejected, unworthy of the nurse and the healthcare professional's time. And the blankness in the background also is there to show the social withdrawal and rejection that these people tend to feel. But despite it being blank, I think that it is a great idea to start by stopping the stigma, and then together as a society we can start to color the background to match the feelings of joy and acceptance and all the great feelings that stopping the stigma would help these individuals feel. So each puzzle piece would be different, and it would symbolize the individual's life. So how this will be applied to my practice is I plan to use people first language. So, for example, using drug user instead of person who uses drugs. Instead of saying addict, I would say person who uses drugs problematically or person with a substance use disorder. Using these languages would ensure that I am non judgmental and treat people living with addiction fairly and the same as any other individual I care for. Because I strongly believe that nobody should be shut out or made feel unworthy of a nurse's time based off of their situation. Thank you.